Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Meals and Deals with Maddie. I'm so excited because today we're talking about 10 things that you can do in the year 2024 to save hundreds on groceries. These are things that you can use if you're penny pinching and you don't know where your next meal is coming from. These are things you can use if you're just looking to save a little bit to save up for trips. So really, these are for anyone. They're simple fixes. They're things that you can do in your everyday life to save hundreds on groceries every month. These are things my husband and I have personally done. A little while back, we were looking at how much we were spending and we didn't used to track things. And we looked at our groceries and how much we were spending, and we're spending over $1,100 a month for a family of 4. And that like blew my mind, insane, crazy. So we decided to make some simple fixes to save money and ended up saving hundreds of dollars. So I want to tell you about these things today because I promise they will save you money and save you hundreds if you do them. All right, so number 1, shop your pantry, fridge, and freezer. This one is huge when it comes to saving money because most likely you already have tons of food in your fridge, pantry, and freezer that you can use for meals the upcoming week when you're meal planning. So let me show you. In my pantry, I have tons of food right here. If you take a look in my freezer, I also have a lot of stuff I could use for meals. So trying to take a look at those things, or take a look at the produce and fruits, veggies that are going to be going bad. Use those up in your meals. Use those in snacks and things like that so that you don't have to waste food and waste money. That's huge. Just take a look at your fridge, pantry, freezer when you're meal planning. Pick out a few things that you can use for a meal or for a few meals, and then base your meals around those things. Number 2 is to eat leftovers. When we first got married, we did not do this very well. I would make huge meals for tons of people, like every single night, and we would never eat our leftovers. And that was a huge mistake on our part because we were constantly throwing away food. And I feel so bad about it now. Now we really try to focus on eating our leftovers, picking a night throughout the week. If we have a lot of leftovers, say, okay, we're gonna eat these this night, or for lunch. We do that a lot too, eating leftovers for lunch. I grew up with, like, I love leftovers. I know some people don't, but when you're trying to save money and you're penny pinching, eating leftovers can make a huge, huge difference. It stretches things, and plus it saves time and energy. You don't have to cook a night out of the week. Who doesn't love that? So highly recommend eat your leftovers. It will make a huge difference. Okay, number 3, this one will save you hundreds of dollars if you think about it. So number 3 is to take lunch, snacks, drinks to work. I myself don't personally drink coffee, but I know a lot of people will stop at Starbucks in the morning and grab their coffee on their way to work, or for lunch, they'll head to Taco Bell or McDonald's or Subway or whatever it is. And I would say most people spend at least $10 on lunch if they're going out for lunch. And some people do that every single day. If you think about that, if you think about a 5-day work week, 30 days in the month, so that's 20 days that you're working. And if you're spending $10 every day, that's $200 right there just on lunch. And that's not counting if you stop for a morning smoothie or coffee or hot chocolate or something like that, which adds what, another $5? That adds up really quickly. Right there, that will save you hundreds of dollars. It's insane. We also really like to take leftovers for lunch, or eat leftovers for lunch, get sandwich stuff, pack it for lunch. That will save you so much money in the long run. Insane. $200 a month on lunch, and most people probably spend more than $10 if we're being honest. So that will save you hundreds for sure. Okay, so number 4 will probably seem like a no doubt. Obviously, that's going to save me money on groceries, but I think a lot of people either don't do it, or they grew up in a family that didn't do it, or they have a misconception about buying this way. So number 4 is to buy generic or off-brand. I buy almost everything generic or off-brand. It saves us tons of money. If you look at the difference between generic and off-brand and name brand things, you will be shocked. There may be some things that there's not a huge difference, but there are a lot of things that it's $1, $2, $3 difference from the name brand to the off-brand. And when you add that all up, it really saves tons of money. So I want to show you my pantry and show you what we get. Okay, so most of the things in my pantry are going to be either generic or off-brand. I will say there are a few things that aren't. And those things are probably either snacks for my kids because they like certain things, or there are just a few things I won't buy off-brand because I don't like the off-brand version. But for the most part, I found that the off-brand versions are totally the same when it compared to like the name brand. So great value, great value, great value, great value, great value, great value. This is an off-brand, just a different store. Great value. My mom gave me these, so that's why we have them. They are name brand. Sometimes I will also buy name brand if they don't have the product that I need for the week and I just really need it or want it, then I will buy name brand. But for the most part, I really try to buy almost all of these are great value. My snacks, most of them are going to be great value. My popcorn is great value. My granola bars, almost all are great value. These aren't, but my kids really like these. Almost all my crackers are great value. So great value just saves so much money. If you go onto the Walmart website or the Walmart app and price check, compare prices between great value and name brand, you will probably be totally shocked. With that being said, I will also add that there are times I have found name brand to be cheaper than great value or off brand. Just most of the time I find that off brand is less expensive than a name brand thing. So I would always verify and check. If I were you, just check. You can look on like Walmart app, like I said, or just in store. Just check and verify, because sometimes they will have sales on name brand things, or they are just cheaper normally than the off brand. But normally I find it to be cheaper, but sometimes there are exceptions. So I would always check. Number 5 is to utilize grocery pickup and delivery. This has been huge for us because when we first got married, I would just go to the store and I would just buy whatever I wanted, whatever I needed. I didn't think about how much things cost. I didn't add up prices as I was going through the store, and it was really just like, let's guess how much it's gonna be at the register. And I usually guessed way under what it actually was. So I was spending way more money than I needed to. And the reason being, I am a shopper. I like to peruse the store. I like to look at things. And so when I was going through the store, I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. I need one of those. Or that looks really yummy. I need one of those. Or sometimes I'd go to the store hungry and end up buying more snacks and things that I needed. So that's why going to the store itself, at least for me, cost me a lot more money. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. So utilizing grocery delivery and pickup, Walmart has a great program for this. You can pick up your groceries for free and you can get a subscription to have them delivered every month, which in my opinion is worth it. It depends on if you are penny pinching and whatnot, but for us, it was worth it. So Walmart has an app that you can add all your things up, and then you can just choose to either pick it up or have it delivered. And when I add things up on an app, I can see what everything costs. So I can see my total, I can see what the taxes are, or what whatever fees are gonna be. And it is way easier for me to budget that way. So I highly recommend doing that. And then also at the end, if I overspent, I can get rid of things that I don't really need, or I'm also not in the store just perusing and looking at random things. So highly recommend that. I would recommend looking into Walmart Plus. It's not for everybody. We really like it. They gave me this little goodie bag a few times ago when I ordered my groceries. They brought it and they had like a ton of free samples of things inside, which was really cool. This is not an ad for Walmart Plus. I just really love it. And it also depends too on how far you may live away from Walmart. We used to live really close to Walmart, so I could just pick it up. It was easy. We live a little bit farther away now, so I figured till my time and the gas to get there, it's worth it for me to get Walmart Plus. But highly recommend looking into that, because in my opinion, picking up or delivering saves a lot of money in the long run, because you can budget, you can see how much you're spending, and you're not just like guessing when you get to the register how much it's going to be. Okay, so number 6 is to shop sales and coupons. There are a lot of stores that have like weekly sales and weekly ads. Walmart is not as big, I feel like, on sales. Sometimes you can find some good sales, but I feel like a lot of other stores like Aldi, Martin's, Albertsons, different places like that, Giant, they have good like weekly sales and weekly ads that come out. And a lot of times you can get like a little card for free that you can just use. And Aldi, you don't even need like a membership or anything like that, which is awesome. So a lot of times they have weekly ads. Peruse those. One thing that I love to shop sales for is meat, and buy that in bulk and then freeze it. Or there's also a lot of other things you can freeze, like veggies, fruit. You can even freeze cheese. So things like that, just buying it in bulk and then freezing it when you find sales, so that later down the line, you don't have to pay the original price for it. Grab it from your freezer and go ahead and use it. Same thing with like canned goods, things like that. It's not a bad thing to have extra food on hand or food storage if you find it on sale. It will save you money in the long run. Number 7 is to buy meat in bulk and portion it out and freeze it. So I love to find meat on sale. Like I said, there are some really good stores here that will have good sales on meat. If you don't have like local stores that have good sales on meat, I would highly recommend Sam's Club and Costco. They seem to be the best quality and then cheapest per pound for their meat that is in bulk. I do love Walmart, but I don't buy a lot of my meat there just because it's a lot more expensive. So getting a pound of meat at Walmart is way more expensive than buying it at like Sam's Club or Costco or things like that. And I don't find that it's always as good quality as the other places. So that's just my personal opinion for meat. But buying it in bulk, and then I like to take like quart freezer bags and just freeze like a pound at a time and then stick it in my freezer. I can show you right now. I actually just did a lot of meat. I bought like 20 pounds. So if you can see here, I have a ton of ground beef that I portioned out and I froze. So now I can take it out and use it whenever I want. I also like to buy my chicken in big bags, that way, in bulk. I just find it saves money and it's just a lot easier, especially when it's frozen already like this in big bags. I like these from Sam's Club or Costco. These are great. So that's just a little trick I do to save a lot of money on my meat, which is one of the most expensive things when it comes to groceries. Okay, so number 8 is to track your spending and budget. I think a lot of people would be surprised to find out how much they're actually spending on groceries if they're not currently tracking it or budgeting it. That's how we were, to find out we were spending, we had spent over $1,100 in a month on groceries, was like, oh my gosh, it like hit me in the face and woke me up. And I realized we needed to make some changes. So if you're not tracking it, start tracking it, see how much you are actually spending on groceries in a month, because you might actually be totally shocked. And then once you track that, decide on a realistic budget for your family that you can stick to every month, and that's gonna be realistic and will work for your family and that you can stick to it. It may take a few months of trial and error to figure that out, but you'll get it figured out, and it comes easier as you go to budget and to spend less on groceries as you go. It just gets easier over time, in my opinion. Number 9, before lucky number 10. Number 10 is actually one that has saved us the most, but number 9 is to simplify your meals. I find that when I make meals with less ingredients, that are just simple meals, that I save money because I'm not buying. I don't know if you've ever gone on Pinterest and you look up different recipes, and I see recipes that have like 20 ingredients and I'm like, I cannot make that. I can't, that's just too much. So I try to simplify my meals and just make meals that are easy, that are simple, that have simple ingredients and have less ingredients. And that seems to save money just because I'm not buying 20 different things at a time for one meal. And that goes along too with utilizing your pantry and your freezer. If you have the spices, if you have the other things that you need for the meal, then that makes it a lot easier and a lot cheaper too. Okay, number 10, lucky number 10. This one, like I said, has saved us hundreds of dollars. This is by far the game changer for us, I would say. I mean, all of these things have saved us hundreds, but this is the one that has saved us the most, in my opinion. And that is meal planning. I did not meal plan very well when we first got married, and what would happen is that I would go to the store one day and I would get what I thought I needed for the week. I thought I got everything, but because I meal planned very well, I didn't know what I needed very well. I would end up at the store 2 or 3 other times throughout the week because I forgot something or I needed something else for a recipe, and I wasn't very good at just like going with the flow and figuring something else out to use. So I was at the store multiple times a week, and I was spending more money than I needed each time because I was perusing and I was grabbing things that looked good. And so I spent way more than I needed to. But now what I do is I meal plan, and I get a Walmart delivery order once a week. That is my goal, just to do it once a week. And let me show you what I do that has made the biggest difference. So over here on the side of my fridge, I have this little calendar, and this is my meal planning calendar. This thing is amazing. I love this thing. I can link it below for you if you're interested. So this, I write out all the days of the month, and then I meal plan all of my meals every single day. I sit down at the beginning of every month and I do this. This has been huge. And then I'll show you up here. This is actually where I track our money. I haven't, because I was doing a review on this, so I haven't put everything in yet. I need to do that. But this set comes with these 3 different whiteboards, and you can write on them, erase them. It comes with an eraser, 4 markers, and 6 magnets. I only have 5. I don't know where the 6th one went, but this has been huge, just figuring out what I want to make for the month. And then I'm not thinking about it last minute. I'm not doing it as I'm going through the store, thinking about what's good, picking up whatever random ingredients I can find. I know what I need and I can budget it out, which is awesome. So highly recommend meal planning. I could do another video on that and the process of how I do it. And then trying to find meals that have similar ingredients that you can stretch over a couple different meals is super helpful as well. So I highly recommend doing that. Meal planning, I promise you, will save you hundreds of dollars. Give it a shot, try it out, and in my opinion, it will change your life. So those were the 10 things to save you hundreds of dollars in the year 2024. I can promise if you do these simple things, and these are simple fixes, they are not hard things to do, they are things that you can do every single day to make life easier, to save a little bit of money. And it does take time to get used to these things if you're not doing them. But if you take a couple months and practice these things and utilize them, I can promise you'll save hundreds of dollars, because it's what happened with our family. So take these, use them, my goal is just to make delicious meals for my family, to have time with my family every day, to sit down and eat dinner together, but to also save money and to save for other things that we want to do, like go on trips with our family, or do fun things, go get ice cream with our family, go out to eat every once in a while. So these things will help you be able to do those things. And I just am so passionate about finding those meals and those deals for our families, and just making, I don't know, in my opinion, I think some of my fondest memories growing up were sitting down to dinner with my family, and that's what I want to create for my family. So I hope these things help you guys. If you liked this video, please subscribe and like it. It would mean so much to me. I would really appreciate it. So hope to see you guys again soon. Utilize these things and hope to see you guys saving hundreds.